Zondervan presents Take 4, Book 4 in the Above the Line series by Karen Kingsbury. Read by Paul Boehmer, Roxanne Hernandez, Don Leslie, Stefan Rudnicki, and Judy Young.
Bailey Flanagan's legs shook and her arms felt like limp noodles. Outside, the heat in the heart of New York City sweltered, the humidity some of the worst of the summer. If the dance studio had air conditioning, it wasn't working. The mix of sweaty bodies and thick air made it almost impossible for Bailey or any of the dancers to catch their breath. And again! Sebastian, the casting director from West Side Story, shouted at them. 5, 6, 7, 8. The music kicked in, and Bailey grabbed a quick breath. Keep moving, she told herself. Don't stop. She couldn't quit, no matter how hard the director pushed them. This was her dream. An actual Broadway audition in a New York studio. She would give it everything she had until she dropped to the floor trying. She'd worked with Katie Hart Matthews on her acting and stage presence, and that would help if she got past this stage. But the intensity of the audition was crazy. If she'd known how many hours of dancing they'd do and how they'd be expected to sing without any sign of exertion, she would have practiced more. She wasn't sure if her old boyfriend, Tim Reed, felt the same way. He spent most of the summer working with a private dance and vocal coach, and from what Bailey could see, his efforts were paying off. One thing was certain. Sebastian was right about the numbers. At the beginning of the audition, he had told them there would be hundreds of talented dancers trying for a handful of ensemble spots. Bailey remembered the scene from earlier that day. There had to be 1,000 dancers lined up around the block looking for a shot. The only flicker of hope was that the audition had grown into a combined talent search for not just the West Side Story, but also Wicked and Mary Poppins. Each show had at least 2 ensemble spots to fill. Bailey's feet had blisters, and she could barely lift her arms as she ran through the dance routine one more time. But she didn't care. She would have been thrilled with a part in any of the shows. Okay, take 5 minutes. The director waved his hand. We'll pick up again after that. Bailey moved to the side of the room and wiped her forehead with a towel from her bag. Every Christian Kids Theater performance, every dance or voice lesson, the hours of practicing and praying and dreaming, all of it came together for this moment in time. Her lungs burned as she pulled a water bottle from her backpack and downed it in 3 long swigs. Her mom had flown with her and Tim to New York the day before, and this morning she'd given each of them several water bottles, which was a good thing. Already the audition had gone on for 5 hours, and cuts were made every hour. So far, she and Tim were still in the running. Throughout the studio, the dancers clustered in groups of 2 or 3 while they drank water and caught their breath. Bailey wanted to talk to Tim, but she needed to get word to her mom about what was happening. She turned her cell phone on and moved into the hallway. Her mom answered almost instantly. Honey, I'm dying. Are you in? It's still going on. She tried to keep the wariness from her voice, but it was impossible. She could barely hold her phone to her ear. It'll be at least another hour. How's it going? The directors are tough, but they like us. At least I think so. But the competition is so intense, it's overwhelming. Her mom had hired a car for the day, and after dropping Bailey and Tim off early that morning, she was shopping along 5th Avenue, killing time until the audition was over. Okay. Her mom sounded upbeat, her enthusiasm contagious. Give it your best, sweetheart. I'll be praying. Bailey's heart melted at her mother's words.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?